Is coding really for everyone? I got this very interesting question on one of my videos. And honestly, that is a great question. We've always heard that coding is the future and everybody should learn to code. But is that actually true? Should you learn programming? Or is it actually overhyped? In this video, I will break it down. First, we'll talk about the benefit of learning to code, how it helps even if you're not a programmer. And secondly, we'll talk about the real challenges of coding that most people don't talk about. Because let me tell you, programming can get challenging. And thirdly, we'll talk about who coding is actually a good fit for and who might be better off learning something else. And finally, do you really need to learn to code in 2025? Let's get into it. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Fumilayo from Beth Media, and I break down tech and coding topics in a way that is easy to understand. So if you're into programming, tech, or just curious about if coding is the right choice for you, make sure to subscribe and like this video, as it really does help out a lot. All right. So why should anyone learn to code? Well, even if you don't want to be a full-time programmer, coding is kind of like having a superpower in today's world.
I think I have superpowers.
So let me answer the question. How does coding actually play a role in your everyday life? Firstly, automation. Automation to me just simply means less boring works. Imagine never having to manually rename 100 files again. With just a few lines of Python code, you can automate stuff that usually takes hours to do. Secondly, coding makes you think smarter. Ever struggled with a complex problem and thought that your brain hurts?
Oh, my brain hurts.
Well, coding would help you break bigger problems into simpler steps, which helps in real life too. And thirdly, which is my favorite part, you get to build cool and amazing stuff. You want to build a bot to track your online orders, or you want to build a simple app that sends messages to your friend who owes you money. We all have that friend who refuses to pay our money. So you can do that. With coding, it makes you build cool stuff, and you'd also understand how tech works. Everybody uses apps, everybody visits websites, and now everybody uses AI. With learning how to code, it gives you an understanding of how these things are made. Now let's move to why coding is an amazing skill when you're getting into tech, the career benefits. What about the career opportunities? Well, coding opens doors. Even if you don't want to be a software developer, there are a lot of high-paying jobs in tech.
I'm in cybersecurity. And how much money do you make per year in cybersecurity? About $200,000 a year.
Coding skills can land you a job in software engineering, data science, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and so much more. And let's be honest, the salaries in tech are pretty nice, if I do say so myself.
That is much too much money.
And secondly, if you're a programmer, you'll be able to work remotely, and there's also flexibility to work anywhere in the world. Although some companies are like turning back from working from home, some companies still give you the opportunity to work completely remotely. Tech jobs gives you that flexibility to work anywhere, so you could literally be coding or on a beach.
So you could work from anywhere?
Or just from your bed. And also, it's not only just for programmers. Even in non-tech job, coding helps. Marketers use Python for data analysis, designer tweaks website code, and even finance people use script to automate tasks. And now, entrepreneurship. Everyone these days is becoming an entrepreneur. Have you an idea of an app or a website? Learning to code means you don't have to hire someone else. You can just build it yourself. So yeah, coding isn't just about becoming a programmer. It is the skills that can save you time, make you money, and even help you launch your own project. But before you rush into coding, let's talk about the other side of it, because learning to code isn't all sunshines and rainbows, and that's what most people don't talk about. Let's be real. Learning to code is not like what you see in the movie. You won't just type a magic command and suddenly become a genius hacker.
He hacked into our system.
In reality, coding can be frustrating, confusing, and straight up painful at times. Here's what most people don't tell you about coding. you will get stuck a lot. Have you ever tried to watch a tutorial video and you write the exact same code that the person in the video wrote and it just doesn't work for you? Or maybe you wrote codes last week or even just yesterday and you tested it and it worked perfectly, and then you go there today and it just doesn't work anymore. That is what happens. You will get stuck a lot. Every beginner goes through it. And sometimes your code looks perfect, but it just won't run. And debugging this feels like solving a mystery with zero clues. And number 2, errors would make you question your life choices. Have you ever seen errors that you just don't understand and it drives you a little bit crazy? That is what programming is about. Error. You would wonder, what does that even mean? Sometimes the errors are so vague that you will spend hours just trying to find the missing semicolon, and by the time you find the mistakes, you're half crying and half celebrating. But I do like the celebrating part. And thirdly, imposter syndrome is real. You look at other people and you just think, I would never be good at this. This is just too much. You might feel that everyone is smarter than you, but trust me, every coder at one point or the other have felt that way. And fourthly, you would want to quit about like 7 times in a week. There will be moments when coding makes zero sense and you think, maybe it's not just for me. Maybe I should do something else. But the truth is that coding is hard for everybody. Even experienced developer struggles sometimes. So yeah, learning to code is not easy. It takes patience, problem solving, and a lot of trials and errors. But does that mean that coding is not for everyone? Let's talk about that too. So, struggling with coding, does it mean that you have to quit? Not necessarily, but at the same time, coding is not for everyone, and that's completely okay. Let's break it down. Coding might be a good fit for you if you enjoy problem solving. Coding is all about breaking problems down and finding solutions. So if you love figuring things out, debugging won't drive you crazy. It will feel like an exciting challenge. And if you are patient and persistent, let's be real, coding is frustrating if you can handle failing multiple times before finally getting it right. Then coding might just be for you. And thirdly, if you're interested in building things, whether it's websites or apps or automation scripts, coding is for everyone who likes to create something from scratch. But now, let me tell you if coding might not be for you. If you hate problem solving, if thinking through logic and debugging make you want to scream, coding might not be the best career choice. If you prefer to work with people rather than computers, coding is mostly a solo activity. Although members of your team might be involved in the project, but a lot of your coding time is spent alone in front of the screen. So if you prefer working with people, talking to people, interacting with people every single time, coding might not be for you. And also, if you just want to learn coding for money, you've seen the videos online of people saying they're making so much money from coding. If that's just what is motivating you, it might not be for you. Although tech job pays well, and if you have zero interest in coding and just see it as a paycheck, you will probably burn out. But here's the good thing. Just because you don't want to learn to code or you don't like to code doesn't mean you cannot work in tech. Here is something that a lot of people don't realize. You can be interested in tech without learning to code. There are so many high-paying tech careers that don't require coding at all. Yeah. And one of them is project management. Learning tech projects and working with developers. As a product manager, you would lead a lot of projects and you would work with developers. As a UI and a UX designer, you would design apps and web interface. As a data analyst, you would work with data without writing full programs. And in cybersecurity, there are some non-technical roles in cybersecurity, like managing security policies and compliance. You might not need to code them. And also as a digital marketer and SEO analyst, running ad campaigns and optimizing websites, you do not need to code. So if you love tech, but coding is just not for you. Don't feel bad. There are plenty of other career options. And if you want me to cover those options, let me know in the comments and I'll make a video just for you. So now to the final question. Do you really need to learn to code in 2025? Let's talk about it. First, who doesn't need to learn to code? If your career has zero connection to tech and you have zero interest in it, it's probably not necessary. And if you're already in a non-coding tech career and you do not see the need for coding in your job, you don't have to force it. You do not need to learn it. And if you just want to follow trends, but you don't actually enjoy coding, you might be better off learning other valuable skills instead. So now, who should learn coding? If you want to work in software development, AI, data science, and others, coding is 100% necessary. If you are in another field, but you want to automate tasks, coding can save you a ton of time. And if you're interested in tech entrepreneurship, learning to code can help you build your own ideas without hiring developers. And if you just enjoy problem solving and creating things, coding is a great skill to have, even if you don't plan to do it full time. The reality is that coding is not mandatory for everyone, but in a world that is becoming more digital, understanding how technology works, it's always a good idea. So even though you don't want to become a developer, coding can still give you a big competitive edge in most industry. So should you learn coding? If it excites you, yes. If you think it can help you in your career, yes. But if it's just another trend or you feel pressure to follow, maybe not. But at the end of the day, it's all about finding what works for you. So if you're thinking of learning to code, my advice is try it. See it if you enjoy it. And if you do, stick with it. And speaking of learning to code, you should check out this channel every Friday, because every Friday we're coding with Fumi every Friday. You have a question, you have a problem, leave it in the comments and I will tackle them every Friday on Coding with Fumi. So what do you think? Is coding for everybody? Do you think it's overhyped? Let me know in the comments. I would like to know your thoughts. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more content on coding, tech careers, and everything in between. And if there's a topic you would like me to cover, leave it in the comments. And I'll see you on Friday with Coding with Fumi. Bye for now.